Hi, I'm Maggie Weldon from maggiescrochet.com, and I'm here to introduce you to 5 new flip-flop patterns. And I went to the dollar store and I saw all these beautiful colored flip-flops, and I thought immediately of doing a set of videos using different yarns just to crochet over this little plastic strap here. So anyway, I'll go through each one and tell you what yarn we used. This one we used Premier's Home Cotton yarn, and this is a worsted weight yarn, and all we did was work, I think it's single crochet stitches over that. When I take you to a close-up for each one, we'll explain exactly what we're using in each pattern. So this was stitches over the strap and then a separate flower and a button in the middle, and when you sew the button on, you sew it down to the strap. So these turned out really cute. I love this color, and we'll also give you the names of the colors and the links, and everything will be listed below. So this one we used Premier's Parfait yarn, and I love the colors. I love the green and the pinks and then the bright pink flower. So this was done similar to the way this one was done. So this one is Premier's Hipster yarn, and I came up with this idea to make these little, almost like little pebbles on here. So I thought that was really cute. And this one is super easy, and you use Premier's Mary yarn. And then last but not least is that one over there, and that we used Red Heart Sachet Mini. And we tried the regular ruffling yarn, but it was too thick, and the mini is just perfect for that. And then we figured out how to make that little flower, that ruffled flower in there by just pulling up a bunch of loops. So anyway, these are great fun projects for summer, and great, little gifts to do for your grandkids or your daughter or whoever. And and they're super quick and easy to make. So anyway, Christina now will show you how to make these, and if you're watching one of them, make sure that you watch all the other ones too. And be sure to subscribe to our channel because it helps us out a lot, and thank you very much for watching.
Hey everybody, it's Christina from maggiescrochet.com. Today I'm going to show you how to embellish this cute little flip-flop. I'm using the Sachet Mini yarn. This is the color Sorbet. It happens to match my teal flip-flop pretty well here. So there's two things going on here. First, I covered the strap, and then I made a flower and sewed it on. So I'm going to show you how to do both those things today. This is just a little flip-flop that I got at the dollar store. So you can do it to any flip-flop you've got lying around, or go out and buy one that matches your yarn. Now this is a lady size, like 7/8 medium flip-flop. So depending on the size flip-flop that you have, your stitch count may vary a little bit. But I'm using a size P hook, and I'm just going to get that on my hook with a slip knot. And then starting kind of here at the back at the heel of the shoe, I'm going to join my yarn with a slip stitch around the strap. So just holding the flip-flop like this, go right under the strap, grab a loop, pull it through, and pull that loop through the loop already on your hook. Don't worry about getting it real close down here to the bottom. This is very slippery. You can just slide it down later. It's a little hard to work right down there at the bottom. So after you do that first slip stitch, then we're going to do single crochet the rest of the way across. So I'll go under, grab a loop, pull it through, grab a loop, and pull it through the 2 loops on my hook. Now for this size shoe, like I said, it's like a ladies medium 7/8. I'm going to aim for about 11 stitches on each side of the strap. Of course, yours will vary depending on how tightly you crochet, what size your shoe is, how thick the strap is. So just kind of play it by ear. And you just want to fill this up so it's nice and tight and we don't have a lot of the strap color showing through. So I'm just going to continue single crocheting around. Just going to try for 11 on this side, try to get 11 on this side, and for my very last stitch over here I'll do another slip stitch as well. Then I can finish off and weave in my ends. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the rest of the strap. As you're doing this, try to situate it so the top of your stitch is kind of facing away from where your foot would be. So you have this nice little braided edge on the outside of the strap. So I'm going to finish this off, and then once I'm done, I'll come back and show you how to make the flower. So here's my flip-flop with just the strap covered. You can see how that turned out. I've woven in my ends. And now if you like, you can leave it exactly like this, but I'm going to show you how to make a flower if you want to just embellish it just a little bit more. So I'm going to be using the same yarn, and I am going to use, because I have one right here, this is called a latch hook. You've got the hook there, and then you've got this little latch that kind of flips up and is really useful for when you're pulling yarn through a lot of other yarn, like I'm going to be doing for this flower. So if you've got one of these, this is a great time to break it out and use it. If you don't, a regular crochet hook will work just as well. You might just have to go a little bit slower, be a little more careful with it. So I'm using the same yarn. Now, sachet yarn comes folded up like this. If you unfold it, you get this great netting, but for this, I actually am going to leave it folded, but work it, if you're familiar with any of our ruffled scarf videos, I'm going to work it like a ruffled scarf. I'm going to leave it kind of folded in half and work into the middle of the yarn. So I'm going to start by inserting my hook into one of these holes right here. And I like to do just kind of like a little catch stitch just to kind of solidify at the beginning. So I'm just going to go right into the next hole there and pull that through, and that just, to me, just gives me a little bit more of a good base to start with. So I've got that on my hook, and now you'll see I can slide this over that latch real quick, but if I try to slide it back, that latch is going to close. So I've got one loop there. I'm going to get 30 more loops, and I'm going to do that by going into about every third hole or so. So as I'm looking at this, I'm actually, because it's doubled, let's see if I can spread out so you can see it. So this is a hole, that's a hole, the thing in the middle is actually part of the hole behind it. So here's my third hole. So another way to say that is about every 2 or 3 inches, if that's easier than counting holes for you. But I'm going to count, there's 1, 2, there-ish is my third one. No one's going to be able to see this when you're done, so if you're off by one every now and then, it's perfectly okay. So I'm going to keep going into every third hole, every couple of inches, until I have 30 loops. So right now I've got 4. I'm going to do this until I have a total of 30, and then I'll come back and show you how to finish this off and why the latch hook is so great for this if you've got one. So this is about 30 loops on my hook. As you can see, they're a little hard to count now, so do try to keep track of them as you're going along. So I'm going to get one more, pick up one more loop. But this loop I'm going to keep right there in my hook, and I'm going to flip up my little latch and kind of protect it, because what I'm going to do now is pull my hook through all of these loops. So like I said, you can absolutely do this with a crochet hook. You'll probably have to go a little bit slower and be a little more careful not to accidentally grab any extra loops in your hook. But my latch here is going to kind of help keep this one safe as I pull it through. So I always turn my hook down when I'm pulling through. That also helps keep you from picking up any strays. And then I'm just going to pull, whoops. When you talk too long, you lose your loops. It's okay, we'll get back real quick. There we go. So now I'm just going to kind of pull all of these loops off at once. And look how easy that was. Now for this last loop, I'm going to cut my yarn. I'll give myself a nice little tail here. And I'm going to pull this strand through that last loop. And then just pull it nice and tight. And that is our little flower embellishment. So you can, kind of adapt this to what colors you want by starting in a different part of the yarn. For example, if I had started, maybe with the pink on one end, I might have ended up with more pink in it, or whatever. So if that's important to you, you can certainly kind of mess with that. So now I'm just going to sew this on to my shoe here. You can use a needle and thread for this. I'm probably just going to kind of pull this through a stitch here, kind of knot it off to the beginning to start with, and then I can just kind of weave in the ends and make it a little more secure, but that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. And then there's the other, so you've got a cute little matching pair of flip-flops. Well guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you've got any questions at all about this project, you can leave them down in the comments below, and in the description you'll find the written pattern for this, as long as the materials that I used. Thanks for watching, guys.
And this is the third part, which we're going to do the edging round. So at the end of row 13, so what that is to just go between these two shells and go into that space right there and work a single crochet like that. So then